Hi everybody, welcome to Dandelion Cottage and Watercolor Wednesday. I'm Leslie Watkins. I hope everybody's well. I was out letting the chickens out this morning and I noticed this beautiful clematis that was blooming, and I thought that this would be the perfect, beautiful flower to use as our specimen today. Now it's not perfect. It's got some little spots on it and some brown, but that's okay. That's going to add added interest to the sketch. And then I also grabbed some of the leaves, and they look like this. And I'm going to keep it kind of short today because I have a lot to do. And that got me to thinking about the motto of my art school, which was the Art Students League of New York on 57th Street, which is the second oldest art school in the country, following the Pennsylvania school. And the motto is never a day without a line. And so sometimes, you know, we all get busy. We don't have time to sit down and do a 3-hour painting. But what I'm hoping to inspire with this garden journal and watercolor sketching with you is that even if you've just got a few minutes, it's worth it just to take the time to relax, breathe, meditate on your subject. And even if it's just 5 or 10 minutes with your morning coffee or whatever, it's well worth the time. And later when you go back and you look through your journals, you'll be glad that you did that. Even the roughest, sketchiest things can be charming, and they can evoke a memory or a feeling or your thoughts of a particular time. And there's just something very pleasant about going back and looking through your old sketchbook. So I really encourage you, even if you think you don't have time, hey, even if you don't have time to get your paints out, then just do a quick pencil study. And if you've got nothing in front of you to work from, just look at your hand. Look at your other hand and just sort of place it and practice. There are few better exercises than to practice drawing the human hand, because it's very complex and marvelous and expressive. So that can be a very fun thing to work from. But today we're going to do this pretty flower, and the color is really interesting. It's like a silvery white, and if you look at it, it's got some very pale, sort of gray violet tones. So let me see if I can find we'll put it against the paper in the sketchbook so you can see those tonalities more clearly. I'm going to zoom you in so that you can get a good look at this, and then if you'd like to get a screenshot, you can do that as well. So let me just get this so it's sort of in the light and you can see it plainly. All right, that looks pretty good. There's my very enthusiastic zoom going a little bit further than I want it to. There we go. All right, so that is it this way so you can get a good screenshot. Now, if you like this specimen and you'd like to paint or do a sketch of it, I hope that you will take a screenshot and then post it in the Dandelion Paper Pal group. That's my private group where everybody who follows along with my projects and my lessons can go ahead and post what they've done and share them with everybody else. It's a very friendly group. I'd love to have you join. All you have to do is make a comment below so I recognize your name, and I'll be able to let you into the group. So you go looking for Dandelion Paper Pals. And we also have monthly creative challenges and lots of fun stuff. So please check that out. All right, so while you're looking at this, I'm just going to check my settings and make sure that you can see and hear me all right. All right, so, and that looks good. And I see Kelly. Hi, Kelly. Thanks for joining me. All right, so let's get started. I'm just going to put this where I can see it better. Actually, maybe I'll just leave it on the top of the page like that. That's kind of pretty. All right, and now I'm going to work in this area right here. If you have any questions at all, please go ahead and post them in the comments, and I will pause in a little while to check and see what's going on. And before, actually, I just want to make sure I didn't skip a page here. No, that's good. All right. Okay. And this is going to be a fairly quick study today because I'm getting ready for a big BOGO this weekend. BOGO meaning buy one, get one free. And my town has an event twice a year, summer and winter, called Weekend in Norfolk. And you can look that up online. And there's all sorts of things going on. And I've decided this year to participate with an art show and sale of original watercolor paintings, and also some painting demonstrations. And I'm also clearing out my my studio. So there's going to be a lot of paper crafting supplies, art supplies, books, a few household items, whatever I happen to find that I think might be of interest. And I think it's going to be a really, really fun event. So if you're in the area, please go to my website at dandelioncottagedesign.com, and on the event page you'll find more information about how to find me, what I have to offer, the schedule, and all that sort of thing. So please check that out, and I will be posting all throughout this week as we get closer to the day, and give you lots more information. So please stay tuned for that. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to answer you. You can direct message me, send me an email, ask me a question in the comments below, and I will get back to you just as soon as I can. All right, so I'm just indicating some of these leaves, and I'm drawing very lightly. I don't want a lot of outline. A little bit of sketching I do like to leave. I think it can be very evocative, and it describes the process that you go through for your understanding of the specimen. And so even if you have a line or two that you want to move and you just kind of leave it there, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Just keep going. And when I'm doing a very quick and simple sketch, as I am here today, I like to remind myself to do it in 3 simple steps. And those steps are light, medium, and dark. So I'm just going to break down my design into those tonalities. Values, which is how dark or how light any particular tone may be, are, I think, the top of the list for importance. Color is a little more personal, a little more expressive, and you can certainly tweak that however you like. But values are really key when it comes to developing form and distance and spatial perspective. And if you're interested in learning more about these sort of fundamental art topics, please subscribe to Notes from Dandelion Cottage. And you can do that below after the video. I will be posting the link. Or you can go to my website and subscribe there, and then I will be able to send you the information regarding upcoming classes and workshops. All right, so that is my sketch. I'm going to zoom you in a little bit so hopefully you can see it. Oh, maybe we're zoomed in. There we go. All right, so you see it's very rough. There is no shading, keeping the pencil line light. All right, so basically it's sufficient to map out where my subject is going to be placed on the page. And I'm going to be using just 3 colors. So I've got yellow, red, and blue. And then in this corner I have a little bit more of the yellow. It's the same yellow. And I'm going to start by approximating the tonalities, and I'm going to be painting very lightly. So in this case I'm just going to put a very light wash on the foliage. This is just a very simple mixture of my yellow and blue, sort of a medium pale green. Get that started. And there might be a little bit of violet or red in there as well. I'm just taking what's on my palette to get this started. Adding a little more water. Okay, and then for the flower, because it has, and it's kind of luminous. This is the kind of a flower with this beautiful sort of a sparkly, silvery quality that is a wonderful flower for the nighttime garden. So if any of you enjoy being out in the evening at dusk when you know, it's kind of this magical time outside, I love it. And if you plant these kind of pale colored flowers in the areas that you frequent, they can help to show you where the paths and other points of interest are in your garden. So this clematis would certainly be one of those star performers for that sort of a garden. I usually I usually plant white impatiens along the paths so that I can see where the boundaries are in the evening, and also by the steps. I'm leaving a lot of the areas of the flower white, so using the paper to indicate my lightest areas. And I'm just kind of delicately going very lightly in the more shaded areas. Keeping it very simple. I don't want to overthink this too much. I'm using a paper towel to blot my brush to take off the excess moisture. And I'm looking at some of these beautiful wrinkles in the leaves. I'm sorry, not the leaves, the petals. So I'm just going to add a little more of that detail here and there. I'm kind of excited about this this weekend and this BOGO event. I've never had a BOGO event before. This will be my first one. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with what a paper crafting BOGO is, what that means is it stands for is buy one, get one free. And so the people who come will be able to select from the things that I have available that they can get for free with every order that they place. So for instance, if somebody places a $40 order from the catalog that features all the paper crafting tools, supplies, stamps, adhesives, you name it, it's all in there. For each amount that they spend on their order, they will be able to select a corresponding equal amount of something that I have for free. And so I know there's a lot of folks out here that do scrapbooking and paper crafting, people who might want to get ready for Christmas and might want to have a few tools. Yeah, so all sorts of stuff. So that's my plan. And there will also be corresponding dies for some of the stamp sets that have them. So if you're somebody that has a die cutting machine, you'll be able to get a really good deal on some paper dies. And if you don't have a die cutting machine, you could purchase the die cutting machine and then select all the stamps and dies that you can use with it as part of your free selection. So that would be a really good way to go. Now the inside of this flower has a kind of a very pale yellowish green tone to it, and but it's very pale, so I'm just going to start with a very light yellow, just a dash of blue in there just to cool it down a tiny bit, make it a little bit greener. So get that started, and it's a little more concentrated in the center, and then it just kind of fades away. And then this petal sort of turns away into the shadows under the leaves, and I just want to put a couple of touches on my leaves, not a lot. And actually I think I'm going to switch to my smaller brush now, and go. The stem. I'm just mixing up a little more green here, slightly darker tone. And then this cluster. So getting back to what I was saying about the 3 steps of values, what I'm doing now is I'm adding my second step. Okay, so the first application of paint was my initial wash, and now what I'm doing is I'm developing some of the shadow areas. Just kind of indicating where everything is. Okay, so that's steps 1 and 2, and then finally I'm going to add some darks. So if I look at the center of my flower, there are some beautiful teensy little anthers that are quite dark. So I'm going to mix up some violet, and into that violet I'm going to add a little bit of yellow to tone it down so I get a kind of a kind of a brownish mixture. Maybe with a like almost like a mahogany. And I just want to test, make sure that that's dry so it doesn't feel cool to the touch. And so what I can do is I can just, using the tip of my brush, just go around the radius of the center of the flower and add these little beautiful details. A little bit in the center, and then I have some green ones, so taking a sort of a kind of a medium yellowish green, a little bit darker than what I had before. I can add a little more there. And then in my leaves, I can take a darker mix of my yellow and blue, this time with a little more green and a touch of red. And I can use that for the dark accents in my cast shadows. Some over here. And then finally, I want to add a couple of touches within the flowers themselves, or flower in this case. So going back to that kind of a silvery blue violet mixture, and I can even add a tiny bit of yellow to that to tone it down so it's not quite so violet, it's a little more grayed. I can just indicate where those petals overlap. And remember that your watercolor will dry a little bit lighter . And once it is thoroughly dry, you can always go over and glaze a little more color on the top if you choose. All right, so I think that's enough for now. Just want to get the edge of this leaf a little bit darker. There we go. Okay, so that is my quick study of a beautiful clematis. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to check and see if there's any questions. Della says she's going to check out the replay later. Beverly's out, but she's saying hello to everybody. Hi, Beverly. Nice to see you. All right, well, everybody's busy doing things, and I'm going to get busy doing things too. Thank you very much for watching. I'll be back tomorrow for Paper Crafting Thursday, and I have a really fun project in mind using a kit. And for the month of August, there is a big sale going on for the kits. You can save up to 30%. So tomorrow I will be featuring one of those kits. So I hope you'll join me. I'll be doing some alternative projects so that you can get an idea of some of the additional things that you can do with your kits. I hope that you stay well, stay happy, stay creative, and I will see you next time.